Recognize the ranking member of the committee, Mr. Jordan from Ohio, for much time as he shall consume.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On October 22nd, 2020, just 2 weeks before the most important election we have, election for President of the United States, then candidate Biden said regarding his son's dealings with foreign companies, quote, "Nothing was unethical. My son has not made money from Chinese business interest." Now, there are 4.8 million reasons why that statement was not accurate. And how do we know? How do we know that statement was not accurate? The Washington Post told us so last week. Not Mike Johnson, not President Trump, not Republicans. The Washington Post told us this last week. They did 2 stories last Wednesday, one at 11 a.m., one at 11:04 a.m. 2 8-page stories, 4 minutes apart, confirming what we already knew. The laptop was real, the eyewitness was real, the emails were real. The only thing fake 18 months ago in the run-up to the presidential election was the news. I find that amazing. 2 8-page stories, 4 minutes apart, saying the laptop is accurate, all the emails are accurate, saying this from the Washington Post, when for 18 months they said, no, it was Russian disinformation. I mean, think about what happened in the run-up to the most important election we have. Big media, big tech, and Democrats all colluded to bury that story. Something I think the American people would have liked to have known a little something about as they went to the polls to elect the commander-in-chief. And they were joined, it wasn't just big tech, big media, and Democrats telling us something that wasn't true. They were joined by 51 former intelligence officials who told us it was Russian disinformation. Now think about this. This is funny how the story has changed. First, it wasn't his laptop. Then it was, it was his laptop, but it was Russian disinformation. Then it was, no, it wasn't Russian disinformation, but Joe Biden wasn't involved. And now it was, Joe was involved, but he did nothing wrong. Amazing how that's all changed in 18 months. So I look forward to hearing from our witnesses and figuring out what we can do with the Foreign Agent Registration Act of 1938. Probably does need some changes, something done to it. But the title of today's hearing is Enhancing FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act of 1938. How about we just figure out a way to apply it consistently? As the ranking member said in his opening statements, this has been used just about anyone who was involved in the Trump campaign had it used against them to get information and do a prosecution, do the whole Mueller investigation, which found out there was no collusion. We obviously had collusion here. Maybe it does need to be applied, at least in a consistent fashion, to Hunter Biden. We know Hunter Biden took millions of dollars from the wife of the mayor of Moscow. We know he took millions of dollars from energy companies in Ukraine and millions of dollars from companies in China with ties to the Chinese Communist Party, including, as the ranking member mentioned, CEFC, which paid him $4.8 million in 1 year's time. Should Hunter Biden have registered under this act? Why didn't he register under this act? Why is the Department of Justice being inconsistent? At least that's what it seems. When, as the ranking member said, only 7 people were prosecuted between 1966 and 2016, and then, shazam, they started using it against everyone associated with President Trump's campaign, it seemed. So this is important. The chairman of the committee just said, we're not here today to discuss individuals. But I do think the American people would like to know the truth about this story and why it was kept from them, kept from we the people, prior to, as I said before, the most important election we have in this nation. That's important information, and I hope we can begin to dig into that. This committee should dig into that. We should be all about making sure the American people get the truth and not have, as I said before, big tech, big media, Democrats, and 51 former intel officials tell us something in the run-up to the election that was not accurate. With that, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan.